Most people think trauma means war, abuse, or disaster. We imagine the car crash, the violent outburst, the broken home, but trauma isn't the event. Trauma is what happens inside you as a result of what happens to you. It's not the bullet, it's the wound. It's not the story you can tell. It's the one your body keeps repeating. You don't need to have lived through a catastrophe to carry trauma. You just need to have felt alone, unseen, or unsafe when you needed connection the most. As children, we're born open, hearts wide, curious, connected. A baby doesn't know separation. They are connection. They feel every vibration, every tone, every shift in the parent's face. But what happens when that connection is broken? When a mother is depressed, anxious, or absent, not out of malice, but out of her own pain? What happens when a father loves, but cannot express it? The child cannot say, "My parent is struggling." The child says, "Something must be wrong with me." That is the birth of trauma, not in the event, but in the meaning the child must create to make sense of unbearable disconnection. From that moment, the child begins to adapt, by pleasing, by performing, by staying quiet, by never needing too much. The pain goes underground, but the pattern continues. Trauma doesn't always scream. Sometimes it smiles politely. It gets straight A's. It works overtime. It says, "I'm fine." It shows up as anxiety that has no obvious cause, as the constant need to be busy, because stillness feels unbearable, as addiction, not just to drugs or alcohol, but to achievement, control, relationships, even to helping others. Underneath every addiction is pain. Addiction isn't the problem. It's the person's attempt to solve a problem they may not even remember having. So, instead of asking, why the addiction, we must ask, why the pain? The same is true of illness. When the body says no, it's often expressing what the mind has repressed. Autoimmune disease, chronic fatigue, migraines, depression. These are not random malfunctions. They're the body's language for enough. Please listen. We live in a world that rewards disconnection. The busier you are, the more successful you seem. The less you feel, the stronger people think you are. Our culture praises the mask, the calm professional, the tireless parent, the unflappable achiever. But underneath, many of us are exhausted, anxious, or numb. The truth is, we live in a traumatized society that calls itself normal. We have normalized stress, isolation, competitiveness, and emotional suppression. We confuse comfort with health, distraction with happiness, productivity with purpose. If everyone around you is disconnected, you might not even realize you are too. But healing begins the moment you start to notice. You can't heal what you don't feel. And yet most of us were taught that feelings are weakness, that anger is dangerous, sadness is self-pity, vulnerability is shameful. But feelings are messengers. Anger says, a boundary has been crossed. Sadness says, something I love is gone. Fear says, something feels unsafe. When we shut down these messages, we also shut down our capacity to connect, both with others and with ourselves. Healing begins when we stop running, when we allow ourselves to feel what once felt unbearable, when we stop judging our coping mechanisms and start understanding them. You see, trauma isn't your fault. It's an adaptation. You did what you needed to survive, to stay attached, to stay safe, to keep some sense of love alive. Healing is not about fixing yourself. It's about remembering that you were never broken. Compassion is the medicine trauma never had. Not pity, not indulgence, but the deep recognition that pain makes sense. When you meet your inner world with curiosity instead of judgment, something begins to soften. The nervous system relaxes, the body feels seen, the inner child feels heard. In that space, healing happens naturally, not because you try harder, but because you stop fighting yourself. Whether through therapy, meditation, writing, or simply honest connection, the essence of healing is the same: connection. To reconnect with your body, to reconnect with your feelings, to reconnect with your authenticity, the self that existed before you had to hide to be loved. So, if trauma isn't what you thought it was, maybe healing isn't either. Healing is not about erasing the past. It's about reclaiming your presence. It's about realizing that the same mind that was wounded by disconnection can learn to reconnect. Your pain was never a punishment. It was a teacher, showing you where love and attention are still needed. Trauma shaped you, but it does not define you. Beneath every defense, every coping mechanism, every scar, there is still a living, breathing, beautiful human being. And when you finally turn toward yourself with compassion, you stop living from your trauma and start living from your truth.